Hey Leo, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina and today we are doing predictions for you for the month of December. This may apply to Leo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take what resonates with you and leave the rest that doesn't. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com, and if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into your reading. I'm so excited, honestly. I love Leo energy. I love being around my Leos. Okay. Let's see. I hope the month has been treating you well, by the way. I hope everything has been going fine and dandy. Oh my, the way, please. I'm not ready. Oh my God. All right. Is this how you guys are feeling right now? Just like erratic? Like, what is happening? All right, bitch. Okay. All right, we have the Two of Cups that fell out. That was the first card that came out. What's the word? Flipped over. So we have the Two of Cups. Starting off, we have the Five of Wands, Four of Wands, Three of Wands, Page of Cups reverse, and then Temperance. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. Interesting. And then under that is the Nine of Swords. And then under that is the Six of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. Okay, fun. Good times, good times. Okay. So maybe recently you have met someone, whether it's a friend or a romantic interest, or maybe even it's even like a business partner in some way, but it more so seems like a romantic type of thing, because next to the Two of Cups is the Five of Wands, and usually I would read that as like sexual tension in some way. So maybe you recently met someone and things have been like, building up, whatever. Maybe there's been flirting. And, maybe you guys just get along really well. Maybe you see eye to eye in a lot of things, and, maybe it's just been a good time. And with this Four of Wands, maybe you feel as though this is someone that you are building a strong foundation with. Maybe this is like, if this is someone, bitch, can I talk? If this is someone that you have recently met, right? This is like a new thing. Maybe right now you're just focusing on building a strong foundation of this relationship between you and this person, right? Again, whether it's a friendship or a relationship, maybe you two have been focusing on just building the friendship as it is, so that it's a strong bond between you two, and so that if things were to progress, things aren't super shaky, and that if there ever is any sort of like conflict or whatever, the two of you can fall back on this foundation of being really good friends, right? Maybe some of you are trying to be mindful of rushing into anything because you don't want to fall back into into past patterns where something was rushed, and then like that kind of was the downfall of the relationship, if you will. And we also have this Three of Wands here, which is showing me like a long-term future. So maybe some of you are really trying to think in the long term, or maybe some of you need to think of the long term. Do you want this person to be in your life within the next few years to come? Again, whether this is a friendship or a business partnership even, or whatever the case may be, if this is something that you want for the long run, then maybe it's worth considering, really thinking of the future, if you will, and being mindful of doing certain things that could possibly speed things up a little too much, if you will. Or that could like propel things in a direction that might feel good in the moment, but it might not necessarily be conducive to the longevity of the relationship, if that kind of makes sense. So whether this means like going past a certain level of flirting, or like hooking up, for example, or whatever the case may be, maybe it's worth really enjoying the friendship as it is for a time before really progressing things into something deeper, or something more serious, if you will. Does that kind of make sense? So maybe this is kind of saying that in the month of December, you're going to be meeting someone and you're building that foundation with this person, really getting to know them, really cultivating the relationship with them, appreciating their presence just for the way that it is, rather than having any sort of expectation of more, if you will, but just kind of going along for the ride and building things up together. Does that kind of make sense? I hope it does. And then we have the Page of Cups reverse, which can sometimes signify getting lost in a fantasy. So if this is you, Leo, or the other person, whoever this may be, this could be someone who's just getting lost in a fantasy, getting lost in like some sort of ideal. And it might be really important to stay grounded and to be careful of getting caught up in any sort of idealizations or kind of unrealistic sort of expectations, if you will, or any sort of unrealistic scenario that kind of ends up getting your hopes up or creating like certain expectations that ultimately just might not necessarily be worth it. Again, it might be more to your benefit to have less expectations or just a certain idea of where you would want things to go, if that kind of makes sense. It kind of just reads as being in the present and enjoying the present moment with this person, rather than trying to push things in a certain direction or trying to like be consumed in that fantasy, especially because Temperance is right here, which is talking about balance and moderation. So it might be really important to find that balance and moderation between you and this person and in this relationship in general, to make sure that it's not strictly like flirting all the time, or it's not strictly just one dimension, but that it is multi-dimensional, and that different layers are created to cultivate this friendship or to cultivate this relationship. You know, it might be really worth just taking things slow. And even if it's tempting to get caught up in certain feelings or emotions, especially when it's very in the moment and when it's like very spontaneous, to reel things back, to kind of pull on the reins whenever it's time to do so, and to basically not get so consumed by everything, even though it might feel really good in that moment. Does that kind of make sense? So yes, that's kind of what it reads as, is like long-term future, thinking of the long term and really building the foundation for that, you know, really working your way up to build something strong and sturdy, so that this relationship or this business partnership, although it does seem more so of like a romantic thing, or like friends to like a romantic thing, building that foundation over time and letting things like unravel in the next few months or years, or whatever the case may be. Yes, and then we have the Three of Swords, right? Which could be like confusion. It also kind of almost feels like self-sabotage almost. So maybe this is suggesting to really be mindful of any sort of self-sabotage, to be mindful of sabotaging this connection for the sake of instant gratification, if that makes sense. Again, it seems that self-control and self-discipline might be really important here. And with this Nine of Swords, this is like anxiety. And then, okay, so this is showing me that like there's like anxiety or confusion in regards to this connection. Maybe there's a fear of losing it, or a fear that something might somehow go wrong. Be mindful of letting these feelings consume you. Again, everything in moderation, everything in balance. If you are feeling this way, you know, maybe it's really worth talking to them about it and finding different approaches so that things don't feel rushed, or so that things don't feel pressured in some way, or forced even in some way, or just to simply ease your mind. You know, find ways to ease your mind and to simply enjoy the experience as it is. And it could also be with this Three of Wands and with this Nine of Swords to, again, just enjoy the journey as it is. Enjoy the relationship as it is. Don't worry so much about the future and like whether or not this is something that is going to work out forever. It's okay if it doesn't work out forever. Enjoy the friendship or the relationship right now and for what it is, for what it offers you in the first place, rather than thinking of like how is this going to work out 5 years from now, or how is this going to work out 10 years from now, or a year from now, or whatever the case may be. You know, we're not there yet. We're not we're not 5 years away. We're not at that time yet. So don't even, you know, it's not worth thinking about that right now. Just enjoy yourself in the moment and have fun with it. You know, don't take things, I guess, so seriously. Just allow yourself to enjoy the harmony and just cultivating this relationship with this person, if you will, or like, again, business partnership, whatever the case may be. If it's like a business partnership type of thing, this just could be saying to be mindful of not rushing into it. You know, work your way up slowly but surely. It doesn't have to be, you know, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, that type of thing. So, or even if it's like a project that you're working on that you're really into and that, you know, you feel is like the one thing that's going to really propel you in a certain direction, be mindful of looking or thinking way too far into the future and thinking, how is this going to even work out? I don't know how I'm going to pull everything together. Don't worry about that. Just focus on building the foundation of this project. Focus on building the strength of this project and on just perfecting it. Focus on that, building the base of everything so that in the future you can reap what you have sown. Does that kind of make sense? So yes, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that kind of makes sense. I hope that resonates with you. And with that being said, I will talk to you later. Bye.